Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
My name is Lauren. It's my 25th birthday. I should have known better than to expect anything different. The envelope was thin, barely weighing anything in my hands, but the weight it carried in meaning was suffocating. I turned it over, tracing my name written in my mother's delicate cursive, hoping, just for a second, that maybe just maybe I was wrong. That this year would be different. That turning 25 meant something to them. I opened it carefully, as if it contained something fragile. The moment I saw the contents, a sharp laugh escaped me before I could stop it. A $10 coupon. Not a heartfelt note, not a small but meaningful gift. Just a discount coupon for a chain restaurant, one that didn't even cover the cost of a full meal. I flipped it over, searching for something more. Some hidden message that would tell me this was a joke. There was nothing. Happy birthday, Lauren. My brother Caden drawled from across the table, his smirk widening when he saw the pathetic gift. Don't spend it all in one place. The others at the table chuckled. My parents, my sister Evelyn, Caden's wife, every single one of them found amusement in my humiliation. I set the coupon down carefully, smoothing out the corners. Wow, you guys really went all out this year. My mother sighed, as if she were the one suffering. Lauren, you know we've always tried to encourage you to be financially responsible. A little budgeting never hurt anyone. Right, I murmured, nodding as if I agreed. And you thought a discount coupon was the perfect way to show that? Caden leaned back in his chair, swirling his wine glass lazily. Come on, Lauren, it's not like you have expenses. You live alone, no family to take care of, no real commitments. It's not like you're running a company or anything. If only he knew. I felt my fingers tighten around the stem of my glass. My family had always treated me as an afterthought. Caden, the golden child, had been handed everything on a silver platter, including a top position at Smart Investments, the very company I now secretly owned. The company they depended on. I forced a smile. Speaking of that, Caden, how's work going? He groaned. Stressful. The company's been dealing with some financial setbacks. But that's above your pay grade, isn't it? I swallowed my amusement. The irony was almost too much. You know, Lauren, my father chimed in, patting his mouth with a napkin. You should consider applying for an assistant position at Smart Investments. A stable job would do you some good. Caden grinned. Yeah, we might be able to squeeze you in. You could fetch coffee, take notes. Simple stuff. Their laughter burned through me, but I refused to let them see it. Instead, I smiled because I already knew what they didn't. I picked up my purse, sliding the ridiculous coupon inside. That's a generous offer, really. I'll think about it. Then, as I stood, I pulled a crisp $100 bill from my wallet and placed it on the table, 10 times the value of their gift. For the waiter, I said softly. And with that, I walked away. Tonight, I would finalize my plans. And tomorrow, my family's world would change forever. I leaned back in my chair, swirling the last sip of wine in my glass, my mind buzzing, not from the alcohol, but from the sheer satisfaction of what was about to happen. Last night's dinner had been nothing but a reminder of how little my family thought of me, a coupon for my birthday, an insulting job offer at the very company I controlled. Their laughter still echoed in my head. But now, it only fueled the fire inside me. Because tonight, I wasn't just walking away, I was taking everything. I picked up my phone, dialing a number I knew by heart. Ms. Lauren, my lawyer Daniel, answered almost immediately. Everything is in place. The final signatures went through this morning. Good. I exhaled slowly, allowing myself a brief moment of satisfaction. Make the announcement first thing tomorrow. I want the board meeting scheduled before noon. Let them sweat for a while. Understood. A pause. Would you like me to inform Caden ahead of time? I smiled to myself. No, let him find out with everyone else. I hung up, finishing my wine before grabbing my coat. I had one last thing to do before the night was over. I arrived at the restaurant just in time to see my family finishing their meal. They were laughing, relaxed, clueless. Caden was talking animatedly about his upcoming plans for Smart Investments, completely unaware that those plans would never come to fruition. I approached the table, and my mother raised an eyebrow. Lauren, what are you doing here? I smiled, setting my purse down. Just wanted to drop by and say thank you for last night. The gift was eye-opening. Caden smirked. Did you think about our job offer? I tilted my head, pretending to consider it. You know I did. Being an assistant at Smart Investments, that's quite the opportunity. Well, my father said, it would at least give you some experience in a real business environment. I bit back a laugh. If only he knew. True, I agreed. But after thinking it over, I decided it's just not the right fit for me. Caden scoffed. Figures. I reached into my purse and pulled out another $100 bill, placing it on the table, the same way I had done the night before. For the tip, I said, locking eyes with Caden. I'm a firm believer in paying people what they're worth. I turned to leave, savoring the brief flicker of confusion on my brother's face. Tomorrow, when he walked into my boardroom, he would understand exactly what I meant. There was a time when I believed my family's approval was something worth fighting for, that if I worked hard enough, proved myself enough, they would see me as more than just an afterthought. I had been naive. I graduated at the top of my finance class, outshining even the most privileged of my peers. I walked into my father's office, Smart Investments, with my degree in hand, ready to take my place in the family business. But he barely looked up from his desk. This company already has an heir, Lauren, he said flatly, signing off on a document. Your brother will handle things. There's no place for you here. No place. Caden had been handed his position before he even finished school. While I worked sleepless nights to earn my success, he spent his time burning through trust funds and making reckless decisions. That day, I made a silent promise to myself. If my father wouldn't give me a place, I would take one. I poured everything I had into investments, studying the market, making smart, calculated risks. Every dollar I earned, I reinvested. Every mistake I turned into a lesson. While my brother lived off our family's wealth, I built my own. Years later, when Smart Investments fell into financial trouble, it was my capital that saved them, anonymously. And now, I owned it. Every last share. Tomorrow, Caden would walk into that boardroom believing he was untouchable. Tomorrow, he would learn the truth. Caden stormed into the boardroom, his usual arrogance on full display. His tailored suit, the smug smirk on his face. It was clear he still believed he was in control. All right, let's get this over with, he said, dropping into his chair. Who the hell bought out our company? Murmurs spread across the room. The board members exchanged uncertain glances, all waiting for the new owner to reveal themselves. I let the tension build before finally rising from my seat at the far end of the table. I did. Caden froze. His expression flickered between confusion and disbelief before twisting into something uglier. You? That's impossible. He scoffed, shaking his head. You don't have that kind of money. I tilted my head, enjoying the unraveling panic in his eyes. And yet, here we are, I said smoothly, sliding the official documents across the table. As of last night, I hold the majority stake in Smart Investments. Effective immediately, I'm in charge. The room fell into silence. Caden snatched the papers, his hands gripping them so tightly they crumpled at the edges. His eyes darted across the page, searching desperately for a loophole, a way to discredit what was right in front of him. You can't do this, he said, his voice a whisper now, laced with disbelief. Oh, I already have, I replied, and I'd suggest you start worrying about your position here. Given the company's recent losses under Caden's leadership, I believe a thorough performance review is in order. Effective immediately, his accounts will be audited and all executive privileges suspended until further notice. Caden's face paled. For the first time in his life, he wasn't untouchable anymore. A murmur of agreement swept through the room. Caden shot up from his seat, slamming his fists on the table. You can't just waltz in here and take everything. This is my company. I met his glare with an icy stare. Correction, it was yours. But unlike you, I actually earned my place here. I let that sink in before delivering the final blow. And since your mismanagement has already cost this firm millions, the board will vote on your termination by the end of the week. Caden's breath hitched. He turned to the board members, but they all avoided his gaze. No one would save him now. You set me up, he whispered, voice shaking. I smiled. No, Caden, you set yourself up. I just made sure the consequences finally caught up with you. As security escorted him out, I watched him go, my brother, the golden child, now nothing more than a cautionary tale. For the first time, I wasn't invisible anymore.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.